as deputy best man or as like second best man. I've been working with Ben a bit, who I'll introduce in a moment as best man for his speech. Any legal complaints, any lawsuits should go to Mr. B.C. Williams. But I think we're a spare thought first about how difficult Ben's task is. Because in a way, Alex is a bit of an enigma. He's a bit of a baffling locked box. In some ways, he shows his emotion, but actually trying to talk to him about emotions, and he'll put on exaggerated Yorkshire accents, trash the place.
It's Tim.
Yeah, or invite Tim to a wedding. He's got history of this. In other ways, Alex is quite simple. He's a good man. He's a caring man. He's a loyal man. He's without question, and in capital letters, a good guy.
Is this good cop, bad cop here? Or?
Wait for it. All of which waits for a particularly dull best man speech. So Ben's got a bit of a challenge for it. So Ben could choose to talk about the time when Alex goaded a Marine into punching him just to get the compensation.
Yeah.
All the time he chose deliberately to insisted on walking barefoot through the streets of Prague. Or he entrusted with 40 euros in Berlin, then returned with a handful of blue chips and a hot dog. Or when he had a Zambian car and just drove into a ditch and left it there.
Yeah.
Or Romania. Let's just leave Romania for then. But put those things together and sort of get the impression that Alex may be a bit of an international man of mystery. You've got the stiff upper lip when it comes to emotions. You've got so many countries that he's been through. You've got the trail of destruction everywhere he's been. You've got the 2 years where he disappeared, presumably launching a coup for a queen and country. So basically, Alex is a bit of a James Bond.
Sure. I didn't say that.
So who saw that coming? So it's my privilege to introduce Ursula Undress to the femme fatale to Alex's Sean Connery, the best man, Ben, Mr. B.C. Williams.
Thank you, Nick, for that brief introduction into this secret life of Alex. Although, having seen him dressed as a woman on several occasions, I can confidently tell you that the only flicker of James Bond about him is leaving people both shaken and stirred. I'm sure you'll all agree with me how stunning Sarah and her bridal team are looking. And Alex hasn't brushed up too badly either. So. I first met Alex in an A-level geography class. After about 15 minutes, he asked the teacher if we could pop out for a cigarette. To my amazement, he agreed. This one small act has formed the basis of our friendship ever since, along with my 20-a-day habit. That started a 20-year pattern of surprises. Some of our most memorable moments have come from our numerous trips abroad. When we were 17, we embarked on a school trip to Romania, led by a teacher who was previously fired for bribing a police officer. Here, Alex arguably had his most lucky run with the ladies. Some say it was his most dazzling northern charm. More likely, though, the abundance of booze in the teacher-run bar, and his perilous act of rescuing and/or stealing a Labrador puppy in the park, which he proceeded to nurture in the hotel bathtub. This run of luck, of course, came to an end when he sold the puppy to some hungry-looking gypsies at the side of the road. Happily, he is now a much better doggy dad to Birdie than he was back then. On a lad's sightseeing holiday to Riga, his luck took a further turn for the worst. Having spent all our money on cultural activities, we ended up in a strip club with only £20 to our name. For those of you less cultured, £20 won't get you very far. Especially when there's 5 of you. Nevertheless, Alex negotiated hard, and eventually we found ourselves in what can only be described as the broom cupboard. The look on Alex's face as he crouched on the floor, hands in the air as a show of gentlemanly honesty. The dancers tripping over between herself and the boiler. It was priceless. Or worth 20 quid, anyway. We spent most of our summer evenings between college and university in York's most infamous nightclub, the Gallery. Many a game of who do you think is the hottest were played there. And it generally resulted in Alex's friend Tom going home with someone.
That's true.
And us going home with a pizza. More tales where things didn't go quite to Alex's plan. Start with him putting on an accent, and on one occasion, this got him into rather more trouble than usual. During a night out, Alex was taking the piss of one of our friends, who was here today, who had decided to try for the RAF as a fighter pilot. In typical Alex style, he decided to spend the evening talking in a military radio voice. A novelty that wore off quicker for us than him. An entire evening went by, and still he was going. Until, surprisingly, a Marine commando walked past and asked, "Are you taking the piss out of the forces?" We'll never know what his answer would have been, as the question was swiftly followed by a punch in the face, which has knocked his head back into the wall and left him cowering on the floor. We would have tried to defend him, but we'd already made our getaway in a taxi. The experience did bring some joy to Alex, though, when he was awarded compensation. So, they say everyone has a price, and we now know Alex is £800. Before I turn to one plan that did come together for Alex, wooing Sarah, Alex's oldest friend Tom, who couldn't be here today, has asked me to read out a few words of his own. I stress that these are his words, so don't shoot the messenger. So he says, "I've known Alex for over 30 years, from growing up around the corner from each other, to family vacations and attending the same university. Our friendship has its up and downs, and everything in between. I think I know Alex better than he knows himself, and he would probably say the same about me. I'm proud to see how far he's come in life, navigating the tough personal challenges, living abroad, career changes, and making big commitments such as moving his life to London to be with Sarah. Instead of digging into embarrassing stories, most of which implicate me as well, I thought we could play a little game of 2 truths and a lie, a test to see how well Sarah knows Alex." So Sarah, I'm going to read out 2 truths and a lie, and you guess which is the lie. Number 1. When we were 17, I joined the Taylor family on a vacation to Portugal. Instead of hanging out with his mate, Alex spent most of the time chasing a girl in the village we stayed in. She was the maid who cleaned our vacation house, and I think her name was Maria. Number 2. After realising he forgot his keys, Alex broke into his parents' house so that he could lose his virginity to a girl named Susie. Number 3. Alex signed up for the army after finishing his A-levels, but instead he decided to go to university to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming Indiana Jones and study archaeology. Sarah?
Sarah. No, look, I don't know any of these stories. I'm going to say that.
Third.
No.
Third is a lie.
No, because he did study
Oh,
archaeology.
you
That
did?
was his first degree. So that one's true.
Virginity.
not the second one. No, the lie is 3. He did study archaeology, but he didn't sign up for the army. Although, yeah, it throws you, but it's true. Although, fun fact from Tom, he did sign him up for the Navy when they were 13. And then apparently the look on his face when he showed up to school the day they reached out to ask him to commit was classic. Anyhow, Tom continues to say, being so far away, we've not had so much of an opportunity to get to know Sarah, but having met her last summer, we knew they'd be a good fit. She's fun, engaging, ambitious and successful, everything he aspires to be. And more importantly, she doesn't have time for his bullshit. I'll spare the advice, but having been married for 11 years, I'll say that marriage is hard. Once the gloss wears off, it comes with all the challenges that life can throw at you. But I think I know that the two of you will navigate it with ease. You complement each other and have proven that you will make a good team. Having all good teammates is half the battle. In all seriousness, we wish you both all the best in this next chapter of your life. So good luck, Sarah. We've all tried to fix him. Congratulations, Alex, for bunching way above your weight. Thanks to Tom for those hand grenades of insight, lobbed from 1,000 miles away. But let's come back to Sarah. Their first encounter was another example of things not always going as Alex expects. When he and Sarah first met, she offered to take him back to hers, to which he declined. Probably unnerved by the fact that this has never happened to him before. Or possibly so he could smoke one last secret cigarette. Luckily, of course, it didn't end there. And after a couple of weeks, he was back to beg for forgiveness. Something he will no doubt get used to doing. In fact, the most interesting thing he's done in the last 20 years is meet Sarah. And thank God for that. As a true Yorkshireman, it took someone pretty special to move him down to London. Apart from his occasional ranting on Walthamstow life, about the many mattresses left down his road, here they've built a very happy life together. Thankfully, Sarah has the strength to keep him on the straight and narrow. Never before has he stuck to the same career for so long. And as if marriage wasn't the ultimate commitment, taking on a lockdown puppy certainly was. As Nick said earlier, Alex really is a nice guy. And you know what they say about nice guys? Nice guys finish last. Although if you ask Sarah, she would tend to disagree. In all seriousness though, Alex is a great guy, and in Sarah he has found an even better woman. I'm also thankful that Sarah has fitted so effortlessly well into our own friendship group. And it's amazing that she's become a true friend in her own right. Sadly, we were beaten to opening the juice bar, but you never know what the future holds.
Coming back around. It's time.
Things don't always go as you expect them, Alex. So here's my wish for both of you. May your marriage be full of happiest of surprises. So with that, if we could all raise our glasses to Alex and Sarah.